Welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is Blue Jaegerist, and today we're going to be talking about one of the greatest misunderstandings in Attack on Titan, and that is the fact that, and I used a certain character on the title and thumbnail because I'm a YouTuber and I need to drive traffic, and no one will listen to the word unless they listen to the word. So I've had to use a divisive character for this, but the actual point of this video is that no one has a redemption arc. I know, right? No one has a redemption arc. In fact, most characters go down as far as morality goes. Most characters start off, good and pure and nice, and then slowly start to become awful. And we will get into who those people are who became more awful. We will get into those. But let's first talk about the biggest misconception. And hey, maybe my thumbnail isn't really that much of a clickbait after all. But let's talk about one of the biggest misconceptions, is that Annie was introduced too late for the story. People either say, well, she should have been killed in season 1, or, she should have been brought back earlier. It is for always the absolute stupidest reasons. And this actually really doesn't go along the normal lines. This isn't really a Jaegerist or any defender issue. This is usually a mixed bag. You could like the ending and you can still think that she was introduced too late. All you guys don't understand the story, all you guys are foolish, and all you guys should stop watching immediately. But I digress. She was not introduced too early. She was introduced at the exact time. You see, people usually say that she was introduced too early because, too late. She was introduced too late because, they didn't have enough time to talk about her sins, and they didn't have time to reconcile and have a big, kumbaya campfire, and all this other nonsense. Talking about how her character wasn't developed, and how she had no effect on the plot. And all this other stuff that gets spewed off. Well, number one, the whole "you killed my comrades" conversation is a post-rumbling conversation. That's not a conversation you have before the rumbling. They're trying to stop the rumbling. Because again, they're united in their goal to stop the rumbling. And here's the other thing. I'll let you know. I'm gonna continue on my forgiveness thing, or the redemption arc. The forgiveness aspect of this. Connie and Armin and all those other people not only assisted in the killing of innocent people, they've killed innocent people, and they are going to kill their own comrades. So they don't feel the need to act morally superior to Annie at all. And again, we know this because in 133, at the chapter that's called Sinners, Connie says to Reiner, "We're irredeemable." Okay, so he sees himself not only on the same level of morality as Reiner, but he sees himself as irredeemable. Connie does. This is Connie we're talking about. So, in no way do they need to have a conversation about this before the rumbling. They're focused on their goal to stop the rumbling. Now, they may say, well, what if they get a little bit of time, like a pocket of time in between the rumbling, in between them stopping the rumbling and all sorts of stuff? Maybe surely there's a pocket of time that they could use to discuss this. It's not healthy to go into this with all these grudges, and I would agree with you. And so Isayama, which is why the campfire scene is there. Now, the campfire scene, of course, is important to their friendship and all that other stuff. But what happens in the campfire scene? Well, Marco gets brought up, because of course he does. Now, of course, Captain Levi wasn't around, but if Captain Levi was around, I'm pretty sure he'd say something along the line of, do what you regret the least. And they maybe say, well, Beluga, he was so angry about Commander Air when he wanted to kill Zeke so badly. Well, he wanted to kill Zeke again because he promised Commander Air when he would. Not to take vengeance, not because he had a grudge. It was so he would follow his last order. But let's continue. So, again, I can't say I know Levi's reaction entirely, but I know that he really wouldn't have made a big deal about it. And of course, he was incapacitated, so the person that was most impactful actually killed was Marco. So they brought up Marco. So, of course, you'll notice that once it got mentioned, Jean, he had a very calm, cool response. Again, not only because they don't feel as clean as they did beforehand, but because this is a pre-rumbling conversation. It's not a conversation to be having post-rumbling. They be focused on their goal. They'll hash out personal disputes later. And yes, these are personal disputes. Marco is one guy. They're trying to save the entire world. Mika says one woman, and Aaron's trying to save just her. So it's completely different as far as ideology goes. So that's what happens. He says what does he say, and then inspired by Marco's last words, he says, "You're right. We should actually just talk this over." And Hanji's like, "Yeah, you know what? We should talk this. We should talk about this before we go in to stop the rumbling." And I'll notice that Reiner keeps antagonizing him, and one of the things is because one of the reasons why he does this, the main reason why he does this, is because he wants to be punished by Jean, right? The whole hanging man concept, right? The guy wanted to be judged, right? What we saw with when the Warriors first came back from Marley. Came to Marley, they came to the village, they met the hanged man, then of course Berthold sleeps in that position, the hanged man. So this has also been a running theme. And it's shown in the duality, not the duality, but the differences between Annie and Reiner are shown after they leave to go stop the rumbling and to commit more slaughter against their comrades. He says, "I don't want you to forgive me, or I didn't expect you to forgive me," right? But then Annie asks if she can be forgiven, right? A genuine question, right? Reiner does not want to be forgiven. Annie does. Two completely different circumstances, and that is why Reiner antagonizes Jean to the point of punching him, right? Because in the end, that was not Jean's natural reaction. It's not Annie getting princess treatment. It's simply she didn't antagonize the dude, Jean, to beat her up. He forgave Reiner, like, or didn't forgive, but he was willing to move on from Reiner like that. In fact, he was willing to do more. He was willing to actually go further than he wanted to and have a conversation with him like that. But instead, Reiner decided to antagonize him, and without holding back, he punched him. And did he feel good about punching him? Did he think, "Oh yeah, that was a great thing I did punching him"? No, it was mixed feelings, of course, but it wasn't like it was this giant triumphant thing when the music kicked in and he's beating up his bully. No, it was more nuanced and complex than that. But again, I'm just bringing this up to say that she was not receiving princess treatment, okay, or she was forgiven too easily, or other nonsense like that. And the whole argument, "Oh, Reiner suffers PTSD, so that's enough." That's an extremely, extremely weak argument, and it helps no one. But now let's move on to what I actually want to say. The second point, which is that it doesn't matter when Annie would have been introduced. Her arc would have been exactly the same. And what I mean by that is that they're like, "Oh, she didn't have enough time for a redemption arc because she was introduced too early." No. Again, you do not understand the story. If you think that somehow introducing her earlier would have made it so that Annie repented or did the right thing or whatever earlier, you're wrong. And you don't understand the story. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're an independent. I don't care if you're a Jaeger. I don't care if you're an hater. I don't care what you are. You do not understand the story, and not a lot of people do. And that's not surprising. I expected. I didn't articulate this beforehand, but so you can take it with a grain of salt if you want to. But I never expected the story to be popular. I was extremely surprised by how popular the story was. It made no sense to me. But now I understand. You guys don't understand the story, and a lot of you do not understand the story. And I'll continue to say that because it is so true. And you people, whenever we say that, or any defenders or whatever, say you don't understand the story, you guys shut off like that and say, "Oh, no, you don't understand the story," and I can absolutely elaborate as to why. If you think I can't elaborate as to why, then come on and debate me. Thursdays and Friday nights, I'll debate you anytime. If you think that I don't elaborate on anything, you can come on and debate me. But let's continue. So the reason why you don't understand the story, and the reason why you've been watching with one eye closed, is because she would have came in at 1:35, regardless of when her crystal got broken. Because see, she didn't come in because she became a selfless person per se. Again, it's more nuanced than that. It's not that she was still as selfish, or she became selfless. She came in because her father was dead. That's why. And even then, she wasn't going to go in. But that's why. She came in because her father was dead, and her top priority had been taken care of. Just like if Mikasa or if all of Aaron's friends were to be killed, he'd change his priorities and he'd try to secure Elio's future the best, right? Because that's his top priority. So that's what she was drunk on for the entire series. It came back to her father. Her father is dead. Now there's room for her to be motivated by something else. You see. So it doesn't matter when she got introduced earlier. She knew what she was doing. Again, since the training arc, the very first arc, volume 4, she's been saying that her father was a racist for no reason. She said in volume 4. And of course, the author's consistent with this and says later on, I think in volume 26, but in season 4 in the backstory, she says the Marlins and the aliens are just as bad. There's no difference between them. She knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing full well, and she's willing to do it because why shouldn't she be willing to do it? She's doing the exact same thing Eren did. She's going after and she's prioritizing her father over everyone else, and that's amazing. That's great, and that's why I love Eren. And so she gets to do what she wants to do. You cannot say, "Oh, Eren gets to do the rumbling for his friends," and not say Eren can do what she did for her father. It's completely, it's nonsensical and it's worthless. But the only reason why she changed course is not because she had time to think about her sins and think about forgiveness and, you know, being a good person. She knows she's not a good person. She's been saying this since volume 8. She said that she was a worthless, evil person. She knows that she's evil, and she knows that she's irredeemable. She knows that she's not a selfless person. But she does stop the rumbling after being forced into, in sense, by the kids and by Lady Mitsubu. But it's mainly because her father's now dead, so it clears up room for her to go and do it. Period. End discussion. Okay, you have a massive misunderstanding of the story if you think that she would have had her redemption arc better. She has no redemption arc. And that leads me to my third and final point, is that no one has a redemption arc. In fact, it's the opposite. And again, this is a fundamental misunderstanding of the story. If you think that Reiner or Annie or Zeke even had a redemption arc, you are dead wrong, and you have no idea what you're talking about. And I advise you heavily to stop watching right now. I don't care what season you are. I probably should put 139 spoilers before I start these videos. But I don't care where you are in the story. Kindly delete your Crunchyroll subscription and go cry in a corner somewhere. There's no reason for you to continue watching if you do not understand the story. Let me tell you a personal story. I started reading Das Kapital. I didn't understand Das Kapital. The language was foreign. I mean, it's in English, but the language was foreign. It was in small print. I had no idea who was saying. I was rereading paragraphs. You know what I started doing? You know what I did? I stopped reading Das Kapital. And I started reading something else. Okay? That's what you need to do. If you don't understand what you're reading, then stop. But imagine if I continued to read Das Kapital, thinking I knew what I was talking about, and then I started going on Reddit and spewing about how Marxism is bad and Marxism is this and Marxism is that, when I didn't understand Das Kapital. Foolish people. Foolish people. Foolish you are. But, you know, in fact, it's the opposite. Sasha goes from being this cute, lovable, you know, hungry girl who likes food and stuff like that to being an evil killer who gets killed. And you're not supposed to feel bad for Sasha when she gets killed. Her father doesn't. Her father doesn't know it. Then her father doesn't feel bad for her because she didn't deserve to feel bad for her. Because, again, as he said, she shot people. She got shot herself. She was a soldier of an opposing force. She shot a couple of Gabi's friends. They were active duty. They were soldiers. And then she got shot by a soldier. It's very clean. She died pretty honorably, actually. She died very honorably. She didn't get sniped. She didn't get shot behind the back. She shot some people, and she got shot by another soldier. There's really nothing else to say about it. It was an extremely honorable way to die. As far as, you know, or a clean way to die, you know, as opposed to, you know, other ways of being killed. Connie, you know, goes from this fun kid who, you know, goofs off and, you know, and training and whatnot, and, you know, maybe a little bit selfish, but, you know, then it becomes a murderous killer. I would like for you anime onlys or anime watchers. First off, if you're anime only, please stop watching the video. I'm so sorry. This is spoiler territory for 139. And I don't want to spoil the rest of the story because it's really, really good. I wouldn't want to ruin it for you, but the anime watchers, I would advise you to go back and rewatch Support Battle and see just how vicious and brutal Connie is. And again, this isn't anime yet, but again, in Sinners, Connie says he's irredeemable. Connie didn't have a redemption arc where he was evil and became good. Connie went from being funny and cute to being an incredibly evil, sick person who was willing to slaughter people for his goals. I don't know how else to say it. Again, I have no beef with Connie. I like Connie. I'm glad his mom came back to life. I was very happy about that. I'm just telling you the facts. Again, these videos are not my opinion. Everyone likes to spew their opinion. Your opinion is irrelevant. What's relevant is facts. But Connie, again, factually speaking, is a person who's willing to kill people he knows personally for his goals. Okay? Period discussion. Sasha was too. She knew innocent people were going to die. She knew that they were attacking the enemy, but she still shot people to protect her friend, Aaron. And that's perfectly fine. That's great. Who cares? But I'm not being serious when I say that. I'm just saying, But and then she got killed. Okay, great. She got killed. Wonderful. She was in a war. What happened? What happens to people in a war? They get killed. She became, a cute girl, and then she became a person who started slaughtering people, right? And then the only person who actually got a redemption arc, believe it or not, is Aaron. Yeah. And again, this is why I love Attack on Titan. This is why I specifically love Aaron. Because Aaron, to say that Aaron got a redemption arc is a foolish thing to say. But his character is so nuanced and so brilliant that in a sense he does have a redemption arc. No, Annie does not have a redemption arc. Annie's just as worthless and evil, that's her words, as she always was. The show is not supposed to make you think, oh, Reiner and Annie, they're good people now. No, they're not. The point of the story, and this has become patently obvious to me, especially since we have additions like Sasha and the point, and Gabi. The point of the story is, people are not good. That's the point of the story. But one of the points. Everyone's evil. That's the point of the story. Now, Anime Balls Deep said, oh, everyone has an evil side when pushed to their limits. I mean, no, not even that. But I mean, in Attack on Titan, I can see how we can make that error. But no, the point is everyone is capable of incredible violence and incredible evil. That's the point of the story. A cute girl who eats bread, who likes bread, is going to be a girl who goes in and assists someone in killing innocent people, and she's going to go kill people herself. That's the point of the story. They're not on redemption arcs. They're being exposed to the evil creatures that they are. All of them. All of them are being exposed to the evil people that they are. And that's why Commander Erwin is one of the main villains in the show, in the story. And in his words, he said he was the villain. He did. Or, exactly did, but he agreed. Because, he's a person that we look up to. He's a person we respect. He's a person we like. But to see him as one of our first villains, to see him as an evil person, you're like, oh. And again, that's another quote from Armin. He said he was an evil, ruthless man, or wicked ruthless man, I think he said. You're like, oh, everybody is like that. That's the message there. You're not supposed to think, oh, this is all good, everyone's kumbaya, everyone's having a good time, people are repenting. No, they're all evil. The reason why I say that Aaron has a redemption arc is, and again, I don't really mean that in a traditional sense, but I mean that to say he was initially a very selfish person, right? He initially always wanted things to be the way he wanted things to be. For him to make a sacrifice that means that he would not be able to live in his ideal world, mainly one where he's alive, means that he actually became less selfless. But again, everyone who watches the show is not supposed to think, oh, Aaron's this good person. Like, again, I keep bringing it up the show as a perfect example of this, and we have the perfect character for this, Regina Mills from Once Upon a Time. She's a character, and again, this is what a redemption arc actually looks like. Look at Once Upon a Time. Look at Regina Mills. In fact, watch the first 2 episodes and watch the last episode if you want a quick, whatever. But a magic bullet version of what I'm talking about. Or maybe think of like Iron Man. Like, that's another good example. If you haven't seen Once Upon a Time, you can use Iron Man, right? But think of Regina for a second. She was an evil person. Season 7, she's now a good person. We're supposed to think good of her. We're supposed to think that she's changing. She's repenting. She's being a nice person now. That's what an actual redemption arc looks like. And a redemption arc is not them, 6 chapters before they're about to die, saying we're irredeemable people and them being right. That's not a redemption arc. I'm sorry. I am sorry. But them saying that 6 chapters before the story is over and them being right, again, they're right. Because again, if you're a Jaegerist, you know what I'm talking about. Of course, Kai's irredeemable. He slaughtered his own friends to make sure that his friends had a lesser chance of surviving. That's what Kanye was doing. Right? And of course we have Alarmin there, the child killer. We know he personally has killed children. We're talking about kids now. Kids, of all people. Armin. So and of course we know what Reiner did. And we know about Aaron and all those other boys. But they're right. They're not saying that because they feel guilty. They're saying that because they're right. And again, if you think they're saying that because they're overly guilty, overly repentant, you're wrong. You are wrong. They are right when they say that. All of them are, including Aaron. Okay, but they're not on a redemption arc. And when Aaron goes and he makes the sacrifice for, and he doesn't mean selfless for the first time in his life. He's going through his entire life being selfish, right? And again, only the kidnapper scene is the only scene where you can only see a crack of that selflessness. Just a sliver of selflessness. And again, as I explained to you, that was partly motivated by his own selfish desires. But again, he was doing that out of genuine altruism. Some of it was, but that's what I love the scene so much. Such a complex scene, but he's always gone through his life doing what he wants to do, how he wants to do it, no matter who tries to stop him. He made a genuine sacrifice. And so Aaron, of all people, Aaron is the closest thing we have to redemption arc. And if Aaron's the closest thing we have to redemption arc, then no one's in a redemption arc. The story's not trying to make you feel all cuddly and make you feel warm feelings for Reiner and Annie. It's not. It's supposed to make you really think about the nature of human beings. That's what's supposed to. That's what it's supposed to do. Okay. And again, that's why I'm pretty sure Nicholas actually said this. Nicholas said the devil is in all of us. He said that in the last arc. That's not a redemption arc. He said that in the last part of the series. That's not supposed to arouse cute, cuddly feelings of good people and repentance and all sort of stuff. Okay? Man. Wow. Anyway, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.